This is Sylvia Saber with OpTv Global headlines. Starting with the national updates. The Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa held a telephonic conversation with Bahrain's Commander-in-Chief Field Marshal Sheikh Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa. Bahrain's Commander-in-Chief offered full support to flood-hit Pakistan. United States President Joe Biden highlighted the devastation caused by the floods in Pakistan in his address to United Nations General Assembly. Biden asked the international community to help flood-hit Pakistan. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken also expressed grief over the widespread devastation by flash floods in country and said U.S. stands with Pakistan at this critical juncture. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has asked the United Nations to formulate an action plan to combat Islamophobia. Bilawal called for convening a global dialogue on countering Islamophobia as a state policy. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has urged the world support Pakistan in mitigating losses incurred by floods. The Prime Minister reviewed the distribution of food, items, tents, and medicines in the affected areas in an online meeting with authorities. At least 3 more people lost their lives in flood-related accidents in Balochistan. The overall death toll since June 1st this year has mounted to 304. The officials said 72,235 houses were razed by floods. The United Nations Children's Agency renewed its appeal for $39 million to help the most vulnerable flood victims in Pakistan. UNICEF said more than 3.4 million children have been uprooted from their homes. The floodwaters had claimed the lives of more than 550 children due to waterborne diseases and malnutrition. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan has announced to start anti-government movement on Saturday. Former Prime Minister appealed to the lawyers to support him where he gives a protest call to the nation. Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah warned provinces of consequences of supporting Imran's long march. The Interior Minister notified that strong action would be taken against participants if they attempt to come towards the Chowk. The protesters can gather at F9 Park or some other place. Up next, we have the international updates. U.S. President Joe Biden has declared at the United Nations that Russia has shamelessly violated the core tenets of the UN with its brutal and needless war in Ukraine. Biden also criticized Russia for scheduling sham referenda this week in the forcibly seized territory in Ukraine. Ex-U.S. President Donald Trump, 3 of his adult children and his family company are sued by New York Attorney General. The suit calls a decade of fraudulent real estate misstatements to secure favorable loans and tax benefits. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the United Nations to strip Russia of its veto power on the Security Council. Zelensky suggested any Russian talk of negotiations is only a delaying tactic. London-based Pakistani philanthropist Sulaiman Raza is the only Pakistani public member who was invited to the Queen Elizabeth II state funeral. Handful members of the public were invited to the state funeral who received honors from the Queen for their service to the general public during the COVID-19 pandemic. Iran reported rising death tolls as anger at the death of a woman detained by the morality police fueled protests for a 5th day. 4 people were killed in the last 2 days, bringing the total death toll to 8. The demonstrations erupted over the death in detention last week of Masha Amini, Iranian Kurdistan, who was arrested in Tehran for unsuitable attire. Iran's president has said that the U.S. trampled upon Tehran's nuclear accord with global powers in a speech to world leaders at the United Nations. Ibrahim Raisi made the remarks in his address to the UN General Assembly. A U.S. airstrike in central Somalia has killed 27 al-Shabaab terrorists, the American military said. The airstrike was conducted at the request of the federal government of Somalia against the al-Shabaab terrorists. Up next, we have the business updates. The pound touched a new 37-year low against the dollar after Russian President Vladimir Putin's accusation of nuclear blackmail by the West. The pound was down 0.31% against the dollar at 1.13460 pence. The lending rate of commercial banks of Pakistan spiked to a record high at 16% on financing to the cash-strapped government. The government borrowed a total of Rs 1.399 trillion from banks against the target of 1.50 trillion. Up next, we have the sports updates. The Pakistan Cricket Board has raised 13 million rupees from the gate money of the first T20I between Pakistan and England. PCB will donate the raised amount to the Prime Minister Relief Fund to aid flood affectees in the country. Tennis legend Roger Federer has said that he decided to retire because he stopped believing he could continue playing after a series of injuries. The 20-time Grand Slam champion last played more than a year ago at Wimbledon in 2021, after which he required knee surgery for the third time. Up next, we have the entertainment updates. Hollywood star and humanitarian Angelina Jolie is overwhelmed by flood devastation in Pakistan. Angelina Jolie has asked the international community to do more for the flood victims in Pakistan. The actress said, "We speak of aid appeals, relief and support, but this is something very, very difficult." Pakistan renowned actor Feroz Khan confirmed his 4-year marriage with Aliza Sultan has ended. Aliza Sultan made serious allegation against the celebrity of inflicting continuous physical and psychological violence. The court barred Feroz Khan from meeting children without court permission. Netflix released the official trailer of its upcoming horror show The Midnight Club, and it is going viral. The show tells the story of a club of terminally ill patients at a hospice who gather at midnight to tell scary stories. Up next, we have the health updates. The death toll from malaria and other diseases tearing through Pakistan's flood-ravaged regions reached 324. Hollywood actress and humanitarian Angelina Jolie said she feared many people she had met during visits to flood-hit areas this week would not make it if more aid did not arrive. Up next, we have the updates on science and technology. Twitter users in India contribute to 55.12% of anti-Muslim content on the microblogging site. A study tapping into Islamophobia online has revealed. United States and United Kingdom ranked second and third among countries that generated 86% Islamophobic content between 2019 to 2021. Around 200 pilot whales die on surf-swept Australia beach. Just 35 whales discovered on the beach on the rugged west coast of Tasmania are alive. Now rescuers are trying to release the sperm whales into the water.